Good deal. Welcome, everyone, to the September Show Low Unified School District School Board meeting. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and those of you at home watching. Tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance is going to be done by John Larson. I'm going to do the invocation, and then we'll do the approval of the agenda. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful fall weather and for the array of color that it brings. Be with us and help us to respect each other and the challenges that face our school district. Help us to dream big for our students and our community. In your holiest name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So can I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
Move we approve the agenda.
Motion.
So I have a motion and a second for item 1.1. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.2, call to the audience. Kelly, do we have any call to the audience? Moving right along. I like that. Item 1.3, approval to change October regular board meeting to October the 20th.
I so move.
I have just one comment on that, I'm sorry. Just as a point on that, our AFR has to be into the state by the 15th by statute. And since that's a Saturday, it would be the 17th, which is the Monday. Having our board meeting on the 20th puts us behind the curve on that. So I'd like it if the board might entertain maybe the 6th of October as an alternative date, but that would be up to you guys, which is the Thursday before fall break.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll be out of town the 6th. Can we do it the 5th? A Wednesday night, or is Wednesday night not work, or?
I don't know when they do planning and zoning.
I'm not sure how the facility works, but that's open for your discussion, however you guys would like to. But we just need to have it before.
Wait, we probably need to check that before we make a motion to move it to then, that it fits with Mr. Mel West and the.
Yeah, we can check with the city. It just, we do have that statute that we have to have the AFR approved and submitted by October 15th.
So if we can't have the meeting here, we still.
We could have it at the board.
We could have it, yeah.
District
We could
office.
still have it
Do
at
we
the
need to?
district office.
Okay.
On what day did you say?
So
John
the
was,
5th?
I think John was recommending the 5th, which is a Wednesday.
But could we do it
Yeah,
Monday?
I mean, just because I'm not going to be here, don't let it hold the process up, but I will be here the 6th.
Well, are the four rest of us going to be here on the 6th of October?
The 5th, you mean?
Can be.
I can be on the 6th. I wasn't checking on the 6th, 5th is, I won't be here.
But Thursday, the
Yeah,
6th, you're
the
good?
6th, I can be here.
And Brian, you can be here on the 6th?
I just will be gone during fall break.
Okay. So then, let's entertain a motion
I so
to,
move that we have it on the 6th of October.
I second the motion.
so I have a motion and a second to move the October regular scheduled meeting to October the 6th, due to the fact that our fall break is scheduled during the week that it normally would be held. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Here at 6:30.
Here at 6:30, unless Mr. Mel West comes out and tells us otherwise. Okay, moving right along. Item 1.4, Superintendent Report. Mr. Shad-Hasley.
Thank you. I'm pleased to report on one thing this evening. In our last meeting, we Becky had a really nice presentation on our student achievement data, and we mentioned a few of our goals, and I just want to give a brief review of all those goals that we have for the year as an administrative team and as a district. And kind of some things that we're looking to accomplish with those goals. So as we evaluated that data, we sat down and we felt like there are two areas of curriculum that we need to set goals for. And one is English Language Arts, or ELA, and the other one is math. When the scores from the students come back, they label them with highly proficient, proficient, minimally proficient. They kind of categorize them based on their achievement levels. And so what we felt like we needed to do is to consider those who are in the proficient area, maintain those who are highly proficient, and look at those that are proficient and move those into the highly proficient. And we felt like 10% was a good goal for that, both for ELA and math. And then to look at our students who are performing at the other end of the spectrum and who might be struggling or have some other challenges in learning. And we felt like we needed to move some of those that are performing minimally into the proficient category. So we're going to look to move both sides of the spectrum up 10% and do that both in English Language Arts and in math. To address those, and what we're going to do to make sure that we're working towards those goals is to we've developed and continue to develop our PLCs, which are professional learning communities, to be able to talk about student achievement, talk about instruction, and the teachers use this time to discuss with one another how to improve instruction and how to strengthen instruction. And they've been doing that effectively to this point in the year. We also have tried to unify the way that we plan for lessons, and we've implemented strategies through Madeline Hunter, which is the essential elements of instruction. We've targeted 5 of the essential elements of instruction and asked that all teachers plan accordingly using those 5 things in their lesson planning, and that would be for math and language arts also. We also are looking at our professional development days that we have, and we're targeting specifics with writing and reading strategies to help those teachers have more strategies in their toolbox, as well as math, some math-focused strategies. Early on so far in this year, we've really just been diving into the data and trying to figure out what it means to us, and then we'll plan those professional developments as we go through the year. So that's for math and English Language Arts. We felt like we needed to examine our curriculum. So one of our goals is around curriculum, and we're going to begin the exploration part of that. We've been data collecting, and now we're going to begin to explore curricular options. And so we're going to form a committee, a teacher cadre, that's going to help us to explore those and then make recommendations, hopefully by the spring, to the board on how we're going to continue with our instruction next year as far as curriculum is concerned. It's important to understand that when we talk about curriculum, curriculum is state standards, so that's set in stone. We're going to look at how we can align those standards effectively, so we have a good scope and sequence. We eliminate gaps from grade to grade, and we can also look to address the resources, the pieces that we use to teach those standards. And so that's what we're going to be exploring. Each of our, as I mentioned earlier, as far as curriculum, each of our building principals are requiring lesson plans that involve the essential elements of instruction, and they're looking for those in their lesson planning. And we're going to develop we're in the process of developing a calendar that will help us make this transition to whatever we're doing, if there's any changes that need to be made to what we're going to do, so that we don't have gaps happen in student achievement and learning. Climate and partnership is important to us at Show Low Schools, and so we want to build high quality relationships. We feel like those are essential to professional growth and also to staff and student success. So we're going to look to how to build climate and partnership. The ways that we're planning on doing that is to develop and implement student and staff and community surveys to be administered in the spring, to kind of put our thumb on how we're doing for the year and how to plan it moving into the summer months for the upcoming year. Professional development surrounding building climate and appropriate conduct for all of us. Public relations are important, and how do we want to interact with each other, with our students, and with the public. We want to develop a customer service focus and really evaluate our communications and look for positive ways to communicate maybe the same message that we might be sharing in a more negative tone. So those are things that we're looking at. Regular district newsletters, staff celebrations, informal meetings directed with the community. So what the community should expect as we move forward is opportunities to serve on things like the Superintendent Advisory Committee. They should be looking forward to opportunities to come to open meetings where they can hear messages about the state of the district, our financial state, our curriculum state, progress on these goals, and opportunities like that for the community to attend. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish. And finally, our last goal would be for intervention. If we're going to move student achievement, we have to provide intervention, not only for those who are struggling, but how do we enrich those who've got it? Now they just have to go to the next level. So really a all-encompassing approach to our student achievement and students as a whole. So I just wanted to give a more thorough overview of our goals for the year to the board. I know we touched on it a little bit last month, but a little more in depth there. So that's my report.
Thank you very much.
I got a question. Jack. How did your meet the candidate go?
Wonderful.
Can you give us a report a little bit on that?
Yes, I will. We had a luncheon for for the board candidates who are running for the upcoming board seats. There are 7 candidates. We were very fortunate to have 5 in attendance with us, plus Stacy attended also, and that was great to have everyone together and to just rub shoulders. And we talked about these goals, and we talked about some vision and some challenges that are facing education as a whole, from Proposition 301 and Prop 123, and how those all played together. We talked about some of the other challenges that we face as a district because of things that are going on in the state. And I thought it was a very productive meeting, and I think that was the sentiment from everyone that attended also. So very, very good.
On having another one?
And we will have our follow-up to that will be in October. Yep.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Housley? Wonderful. Item 1.5, PowerPoint presentation of start of school.
Thank you. I'll kick it and it'll be just right.
Second.
Don't know.
Music's not coming on. Do we need to do something on that end? Volume? Look over there. Corner, bottom. Make sure well, it has some jazzy music that plays with it, but you don't want my singing.
It's obviously not playing, but that's okay. Pictures are
The
great.
pictures are great.
It's a happy song.
They're happy. Can you hum it, Kelly?
You don't want me to.
Greg did volunteer to hum the music if it didn't work, so.
I brought his guitar. Look how cute. Yes, it is.
We want to thank those who contributed the pictures, but also Mr. Jeff Houston put that together for us, our new cafeteria, our director of food services put that together. So we appreciate him doing that for us.
Yeah, thank you. That was nice.
Very good, very good. Item 1.5, future agenda items.
I don't have any.
5 or 6.
Any future agenda items? Do we need to put this whole thing on a future agenda item? No? Okay. All right, moving on. Item 2.1, approval of overnight and out-of-state travel. Mr. Housley.
There are several things that are on the agenda here for out-of-state and overnight travel. You'll notice item number 1, Mr. Hall is recommending the approval of the annual Nicholas Homestead 5th grade trip to Skyway Camp. They're pretty excited about this. They are doing some fundraising. They're going to be chartering some buses to take them down this year. So that's all in the process, and they're excited for that to happen. We also have Mr. Adams is requesting the approval of high school cross-country team participating in the Desert Twilight Cross Country Meet in Casa Grande on September 30th and through October 1st. We are also requesting the FBLA travel to Prescott for their leadership conference on September 22nd through the 24th. And then also we have on the agenda the annual Mexico Cultural Exchange Trip for the Spanish Club in Hermosillo, Mexico. And this will be November 17th through the 21st. They are requesting use of school vehicles for that also. I would recommend that we approve the overnight and out-of-state travel.
Approximately how many do you have going to Mexico? Do you know that number, or is that,
It's,
I'm supposed to ask?
I'm not sure exactly how many there are. I'm
I'm
trying
to
to,
believe it's there.
15 students. it says.
15. Yeah, I was
15.
thinking it was 20 in my head, but
Yeah, it's
15. 15.
Right around there.
it is there.
Thank you.
Thank you. I move we approve travel requests.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve overnight and out-of-state travel. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3.1, approval of resignations, retirement, terminations. Mr. Housley.
As you can see in your board book here, there were a few resignations and retirements here. Robin Gillespie as a high school teacher assistant, Deborah Slatery, Whipple Ranch teacher assistant, Katie Hahn was a high school teacher assistant, and Mr. Lyndon Wetton as the Nicholas Homestead custodian and auditorium tech. I recommend that we approve these resignations as stated.
No motion.
I'll second the motion.
On one of these, I wanted to bring up that, I guess it's Mr. Wheaton's, that he highly recommended that a student, Kyle Marler, be given the opportunity to step into that position. I thought that was really, I thought we needed to give a shout out to Kyle that someone that's leaving put his name specifically in the letter, and that he said he's talented enough to do the job. And so I know Kyle is still a student, so maybe we can have a part-time position for him when we do this, or create, or divide the position up or something, I don't know.
Now, the arts department, they're looking at possible solutions for how to manage that through some of our big performances, and he is knowledgeable enough to maybe assist heavily in some of those things. So.
Oh, so maybe, maybe we create a part-time position for that, but. So I have a motion and a second to accept these recommendations. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 3.2, approval of new hires. Mr. Housley.
We have a few new hires, excuse me, some out of necessity with some of our resignations, and some were pretty quick hires. So Morgan Hancock as our Whipple Ranch secretary. Cammie Hall as a Whipple Ranch teacher assistant, Scott Clark as a high school teacher assistant, and Jessica Lautherbach as the high school teacher assistant. We also have a transfer, Daphne Jackson from Linden Food Service worker to the Linden Food Service manager. We had an opening there, and she's doing a great job in that position as of now. So I would recommend that we approve those hires as stated.
All motion?
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve new hires. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 3.3, approval of certified and classified substitutes. Mr. Housley.
We have several of those on the agenda here. Certified substitutes. We have Joel Summer as a substitute teacher K-12, Julie Plum, Janelle Trantham, Larry Nichols, Norman McCabe, and Omar Villa, all substitutes for us K through 12. I recommend that we approve those as substitutes.
I shall move.
Do we want to get the classified on the next
Yeah, do we
page?
need to add the
Oh,
classified?
you've got-
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, forgot to flip my
Yeah.
paper here. And Jennifer Cabrera as a substitute teacher assistant. Also, I would recommend that we approve her also.
Okay, I'll still make that motion.
Second.
Redo it or something.
So I have a motion and a second to approve certified and classified substitutes. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 3.4, approval of stipends and volunteers.
We have a few of our stipends here. These were waiting for funding from the state and our grants to be funded, so these are here now. You notice there are several of them, so I will try to get those. They are on the list there, so I won't read all of those. You can see them on the screen. Hopefully they showed up at home also. There are several of those. You notice that with our tech buddies, we're asking a little bit of them, so those, if you remember what the stipends were from last year, those are a little bit of an increase.
Good.
And we appreciate what they do for our district as far as making that happen. There are also in that some volunteers with junior high softball, high school spirit line, and junior high assistant cross country, and then we have some event workers that also need to be approved. It's my recommendation that we approve them as stated in the agenda.
I make a motion for approval of stipends and volunteers as listed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve stipends and volunteers as listed. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 3.6, approval of a .75 self-contained special services teacher for Whipple Ranch Elementary.
I believe we,
3.5.
3.5.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was approval of contract revision, 3.5, sorry.
Mr. Manuel Medina had been currently working for us as a part-time custodial at Nicholas Homestead. As you remember, Mr. Wheaton's, part of his responsibilities were also cleaning several buildings, including the auditorium. It's my recommendation that we move Mr. Medina to a full-time position, and he's going to cover those custodial duties that were vacated with Mr. Wheaton's resignation.
I'll make a motion for approval of contract revision.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the contract revision for Mr. Medina. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now item 3.6. Sorry about that.
No problem. So this agenda item we're asking for your approval of a three-quarter time self-contained special services teacher at Whipple Ranch. Right now, we're seeing a lot of different manifestations and potential special needs students who have been identified, and they're just going through the testing process, which is going to put a large burden on some of our classrooms and trying to service those children appropriately. We do have a couple paraprofessionals positions that we haven't filled yet that we will leave vacant. We feel like bringing in a certified teacher to do so, to fill this three-quarter position will be effective and meet the needs of Whipple Ranch to service the kids who are exhibiting some higher needs, and it would be good to have them in a more self-contained environment. So it is my recommendation that we approve a 3-quarter position at Whipple Ranch for a special ed teacher.
Mr. Housey, I just have one question. Why not full-time?
Because we don't really have the need for a full-time position. We have the staffing to take care of certain, or the parts of the day, like in the afternoon, when these kids wouldn't necessarily need to be pulled in, they need to be part of the mainstream of things that are going on.
Okay.
And we feel like at this point, it's going to be a lot easier to find a 3-quarter position than someone
Full-time.
full-time.
Okay.
Yeah. And this would be a certified position.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the self-contained special services teacher for Whipple Ranch Elementary,
Second.
3-quarter time.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second, seconded by Joy. Kelly, if you didn't hear that, for approval of the 3-quarter time self-contained special services teacher for Whipple Ranch. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 4.1, approval of second viewing and adoption of policy advisories number 552 through 566, with the exception of we're striking policy number 559 due to the fact that there is a legal issue pending on that specific policy. So we will address that at a later time. So it will not get a second read today.
So as we reviewed these, this is our second reading. As you stated, that it would be my recommendation that we hold off on policy advisory number 559, JICI, until further, so we can review that a little bit more and get some more legal opinions, which I know some of those are pending on that. So we want to take care of that. Also, as we approve these, we'll need to look at our open enrollment and make sure that we at least make a recommendation for some proposed dates for that one. And but I would recommend that we approve the second reading of those policies with the exclusion of policy number 559.
Also motion.
Do you want to add the open enrollment dates?
Yes, if you.
Okay, so for open enrollment dates on policy 558, we'd like to add dates of April 15th and June 1st for notifications.
Perfect.
So I have a motion and a second. The motion includes dates for open enrollment of April 15th and June 1st, and striking of policy 559. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I actually didn't catch who seconded it?
Oh, I'm sorry, it was first by Brian
Oh, was it Brian?
or John,
I think it was me.
John,
and then Stacy seconded it with the
okay,
change with the dates.
sorry, missed that, thank you.
That's okay. The dates are April 15th and June 1st. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 6.0, Mr. Greg Schubert.
So tonight, we're bringing before you the ratification of our expense and payroll vouchers, the ratification of the junior high and high school activities, revenues, and expenditures, approval of governing board minutes for the regular meeting of August 11th, authorization of the transfer fund request by the administrators, and approval of the following donations: to the Sholo Junior High from Ross Stores, a gift card valued at $300. To the junior high from White Mountain Wear, t-shirts valued at $500. To the junior high from Mike Alsop at Frontier Communications, mouse pads valued at $60. Also to the junior high from Allegra, removable circle stickers valued at $368.20. Also to the junior high from Coca-Cola, 2 cases of Dasani water valued at $21.60. Also to the junior high, Longevity Fitness Center, 2 memberships and 1 t-shirt valued at $130. To Whipple Ranch Elementary from Annika Bergstrand, a printer valued at $50. To Linden from the Rec Foundation, Vex Robotics Competition Kit valued at $697. Also at Linden from Perkins Cinders, sand for the kindergarten playground. At the high school for Sholo softball, donation to the softball program valued at $2,713.30. And also to the high school from Kathy Cureton, shelving unit for the library valued at $350. We bring for you these consent agenda items for your approval.
I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion?
Thank you to those folks.
Oh, yeah, thank you,
Always
absolutely.
grateful for the donations.
Subject to a 2-cent payoff.
Yeah, thanks to all of our community. We have such a giving community, and it's nice to be a part of a community that's willing to help your school. So thank you very much. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 7.0, adjournment.
So move.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.